I'm so happy to see you this morning, and happy Writers Church. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to get into it. But let's start with a land acknowledgement, if you don't mind. As written by myself and kinfolks, I am Ramona Brook, Webb. I'm Afro Creek Muskogee. And as individuals seeking social justice, we recognize the importance of committing to the everyday work of deepening our understanding of the history and actions that have led each of us to exist on this land, North America. So we begin this powerful work with a land acknowledgement. We intentionally recognize and respect Indigenous people as the traditional stewards of this land and honor the enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous people and traditional Indigenous territories. We acknowledge the Ohlone people and all Indigenous people whose traditional and unceded territories we are gathered upon today. We acknowledge the overlapping histories of this region, including the continuing conditions of stolen Indigenous land and power, in addition to the ongoing violence produced by the legacy of racialized slavery and oppression. We also recognize that the institutions and industrial complexes with which we struggle within have been complicit in the erasure of history and continue to benefit from and perpetuate processes of colonization, broken treaties, racism, colorism, bi, homo, transphobia, misogyny, dispossession, and displacement. Let us take a moment to extend our deepest thanks and appreciation to our shared ancestors, emerging elders, and present elders. Let us reflect in silence and then be mindful of conducting our work using words, actions, and intentions that demonstrate the honor and appreciation we extend to the Ohlone people and all Indigenous peoples whose lands we sit and stand upon. And in honor of the traditional stewards of these lands, let us take a deep collective breath together in silence. 1, 2, 3, deep breath in. Thank you for this moment of silence for the traditional stewards of our lands, those that are where we are right here and those who are visiting with us in our virtual experience. And while we are offering a prayer of silence, while we are offering a moment of silence and deep breath, we want to take a deep breath of prayer and affirmation in honor of Sonia Massey, in honor of her family, those who love her, and we as people who are deeply moved by her murder. Let us take a moment to pray. Let us take a moment to reflect and affirm that her life is not in vain, that this is a movement of revolution, that this is a moment of reclamation. Let it inspire us to ensure that this no longer continues in our world, in our place, and in our experience, in a special extension of love, care, and compassion to Black people who have had to watch this for generations and generations, 400 plus years, and watch it continue on, and knowing that we here as Glide are a community that will continue to grow and continue to shine the change that we need to see in the world. We are the reason that this will not continue to happen. We are the activating point to create this kind of change, and we are affected, we are moved, we are praying, we are affirming that most of us are going to do better than this moving forward, that all of us are reflections of the goodness in the world, and that the spirit of Sonia Massey is going to continue to exist, not just in martyrdom, but showing us where we can move into a place of thriving in this revolution, in this meditation practice of goodness, of spirit, of awakening, of surrender, of serenity, of revolution. Thank you for that, church. And now a poem for our matriarch here at Glide Memorial Church, our co-founder of this tradition of unconditional love in honor of her ascension. This is marking a 3-year anniversary of the ascension of Janice Mirikitanis, co-founder of Glide Memorial. And this poem is for her, a poem for Janice. A constellation of grace and poise, a dream affirmed, a prayer in action, a meditative hum, a joyful noise. She is symmetry, balance in the tide, waiting in the moment, the groundswell be her idea. She make us great, make us remember it ain't all easy and it ain't all about just showing up. She is the goodness, whirling gratitude like the waves of Naruto, conduit of transformation, diviner of faith. The laughter of love in her eyes keeps the saints at watch, a timeless gift of joy to all to behold. She be a movement, an activist, an action of redemption, the soul of our song. And if ever you lose your way, hope for a beacon to guide you home, follow her lead. Open your heart, forgive yourself, and just glide. For Janice. Thank you for that. And as we celebrate Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, we honor the need for mental health care in most of our marginalized communities. We honor the ascension of Janice Mirikitanis and her healing words, health advocacy, and our Glide Memorial Church as our matriarch of this unconditional love movement. A quote from Janice Mirikitanis: "Injuries needing to be healed, opening to our light. In this indiscriminate disaster, we connect our humanity," end quote. Janice Mirikitanis from Offerings to Mother Earth. This offers up the question or prompt: how does protecting marginalized voices uplift humanity? What does it mean for us to stand for those who stand in the margins in our community? What does it mean to create space and pathways for us to be revealed, for us to see our greatness not only within ourselves but in each other? What does it mean for us to create a space like this we are creating right here in this church together right now, Glide, where we are affirming each other, where we are holding each other, we are watching as witnesses to each and every one of our living testimonies as we take our life stories and turn them into affirmations for you can make it, you will survive, you are thriving, it will get better, and we are here to hold you no matter how bad it hurts. And we gather together for good reason. In the interest of possibility, being a part of a collective experience, that's why we're here. A collective affirmation, a collective prayer. But in this moment, we are decentralizing grind culture and anchoring into spirit and our well-being to hold us in the spiritual, in the ritual, in the intuitive, and in the affirmation of inner guidance as God's expression of us. In this moment, there is no searching because we are here. There is no questioning because we have arrived. We are where we are supposed to be, and just you is more than enough. So often we are looking for something to fix within ourselves, some way that we need to change to make ourselves more acceptable, somehow that we need to be better, need to be seen differently, need to appear differently, need to hide the things that we don't want other people to notice or see. Put that behind the curtain, nobody look back there. You know, we don't want to talk about the body parts that we're covering up because we don't want anything to be seen in our arms. We don't want anybody to see what's behind our hair. It's all right. All of these things are what make you who you are. All of these experiences is what brings you forward, what makes you beautiful, what makes you special, and your journey within it is what lets the rest of us know that we are going to survive. And bigger than surviving, that we are available to thrive, okay? Because we're looking at the example of you and your survival. We're looking at the example of you moving through barriers, moving through boundaries, overcoming and traversing valleys and streams, realities and schemes, knowing that you are worthy of a higher cause and a higher purpose, knowing that destiny is calling for you to come in and welcome yourself to the seat of God's gracious authority. Know that the spirit that exists within you exists within me and the world around you. You need to wait for anybody's permission to be healed. We don't need to wait for anybody's permission to be saved. We don't need to wait for anybody's permission to rise up, to grow, to change, or to survive. We don't wait for a permission because we are the permission. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones who are in knowing of our divine truth. When you look at our lives, when you look into yourself, and you look at the journey that has taken its time to get you here, every moment, every stumble, every transformational moment, every journey that has led you to this moment was the right one because you're here, aren't you? You're exactly where you're supposed to be. This life isn't for the living without experiencing. This life is for the living, the finding, the falling, the rising, and the knowing of our goodness. The clarity about our dignity, that it's something we're born with. We don't have to earn it. It doesn't matter where you've been. It don't matter where you go, and your dignity goes with you. You were born with it, you'll die with it, and you are absolutely deserving of it because we are worthy. We are valuable. We are a beautiful people when we lean into the spirit of ourselves, when we reach deep within and hold on to that which anchors us to God's greatness, when we hold on that which affirms our willingness to be seen, heard, and take up the space that we deserve. We are all walking testimonies to life's goodness. You are not surviving, you are thriving. You are not holding, you are receiving. You are not just following, you are leading by purely being who you are. Continuing to show up and put one foot in front of the other. Put one wheel forward, put one stick forward. Whatever brings you forward is where we are. Know that Glide will always rise to meet you in this unconditional love. We come together to pray. We come together to affirm. We come together to ascend. We come together to sing. We come together to praise. We come together to change. Because we came in one way, but we're going to leave another for having shared each other's existence, for having shared each other's energetic presence, for having been here and knowing that we are here with the collective energy of unconditional love. There's so much ancestry that had to come together to create you. You are no accident. You are absolutely necessary. You were born with purpose and intention. And it's best that we start to look at what is beautiful about us, what is beautiful and brilliant about the legacy we are building in every breath and every moment of every day, that everything that we have ever experienced was absolutely necessary for us to move into a place of testimonial about our lives, our way of showing other people that they are not alone, that you are not the only one, that you can recover, that you can get better, that you can keep on, and that the next day is always on its way. We are moving into a place of radical acceptance, radical love, and radical forgiveness. Because when we forgive ourselves for being ourselves, we're able to accept ourselves as ourselves and love ourselves unconditionally in it. Love the spirit that exists within us in it. We know to offer ourselves the unconditional love that we offer into the world. So when I say I am unconditional love, you say we are unconditional love. I am unconditional love, we are unconditional love. I am unconditional love, we are unconditional love. I am unconditional love, we are unconditional love. Now let's not forget it. And certainly we ain't gonna apologize for it. And some of us, when we see ourselves broken, when we say the places that we feel like we're lost in, and we're looking for somewhere to go because we feel like we've gone astray, we have to be willing to follow our intuition, our inner guidance. And oftentimes we're like confused about what is the inner guidance, because there's songs playing in my head, there's a bunch of commercials and a ton of things to do about school, about work, about children, about traffic. There are lots of things going on in your head, right? And so it's hard to hear through all of those voices, what is the divine voice within me? Where is spirit leading me? And I don't need to look outside of myself to find myself within myself. I don't need to look outside of myself to find the God within myself, nor do you have to look outside for that directive. So how do we find this unconditional love, this voice that is leading us, this intuition and this guidance? Well, we know it all the time. Your heart is leading the way. Every time you show up to a job that you hate, take a commute that you can't stand, arrive mad because you didn't want to come anyway. And if she's saying this to me one more time, and you looking at this person over here, if you don't pick up your trash, and you looking at this desk over here like, I don't have time. It's hard, right? We got a lot going on. But the heart of us, when we are having all of those feelings, your heart is saying, not here, not now, not now. Not here, not now, not never. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. The reason has passed, the season is moving on, and the lifetime is on its way. Oftentimes, we stay in places that make us uncomfortable, even though the heart of us, our intention, our internal monitor is telling us it is time to go. The internal GPS is saying, danger, danger, boundaries. We are going to throw everything at you to make you as uncomfortable as absolutely possible so you know that this is no longer where you belong. But it's hard to change. You got to think about 401ks and insurance. You got to think about how you're going to get there and get back, how you're going to pay your rent and all that kind of thing. And that oftentimes gets in the way. It's these everyday things that get in the way of our view of us following our intuition, following the guidance. Because when you walk into a room and you feel loved unconditionally, when you walk into a room and you feel empowered, when you walk into the room and you know that you are there and wanted, that you are valuable and worthy, when you walk into a room and you feel inspired and creative, when you feel vulnerable and strong in that, then you know you're where you're supposed to be, right? When we laugh, when we hold ourselves up, when we feel our spirits fill the room, we know what we are and we know where we're supposed to be. That is the intuition. That is our heart giving us our guidance. That is the GPS of the soul, okay? So we just have to be brave enough to take it. It doesn't mean you have to do it today. It doesn't mean you have to do it right now, but just know that your intuition, your inner guidance, your connection to spirit, your connection to the divine universe, your connection to God is working all the time. And you don't need to go anywhere else but within to discover that. All you got to do is pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what you know. Pay attention to the energy that you provide and the room around you provides for you. That's how we know where we belong. Do we not belong here, though, church? Do we not belong here at Glide Memorial Church in this unconditional love? Are we not deserving of this dignity? Because that's what we're describing. Thriving in dignity. Something we're born with, something we'll die with, and that no one can ever take away from you. All of us have this right. So, in that, as we look at how we find what is for our highest good and how we are deserving, seeing ourselves as absolutely blessed into the gift of goodness that Spirit offers because the divine conduit of God's grace is holding place for our divine gifts as us, enjoying the beauty of the blessings of others. We exist in order to do the work of divinity. We exist in order to live in purpose. We exist knowing that we are accountable to the purpose and the dreams that we hold, that we are purposeful in every step and breath, that we are thriving through this lifetime, and that we are deserving of being valued, worthy, healed, held, believed, seen, and loved. You are the still light. We are giving of all that we are needing. We are receiving the blessing. We are receiving the energy. We are receiving the healing right now. Oftentimes we're like, I'm not perfect, but you are. We can't handle the idea of our own perfection. Our own perfection suggests that everything's all right now. And we're thinking of a million things that are not right now, including our car, including the rent, including a myriad of outside experiences that do not make us. We have to know that what we see here is what we are. So if you can see yourself being the highest good, if you can see yourself living up to your highest value, if you can see yourself being loved, if you can see yourself in a place of peace and balance and humane practice, then you are seeing the perfection that already exists within you right now. You just have to be willing to claim it. Know that you are precious. Know that you are able. Know that you are not just here to survive, but thrive. We are calling you in, and God is calling you out. We are not harmed, we are healed. We are in grace, we are not wrong, we are revealed. We are not holding, we are forgiven. We are blessed, we are divinity. We are the solution, not a problem. We are what we have been waiting for. Because we must stand in the knowing of our hearts. We must stand and follow the guidance of our intuition. We must be clear about our soul's reclamation. And in that, as we know our worthy, beloved, God-given place on this planet, affirmed place on this planet, universal living and law that exists because we exist in this world, I'm going to close with a poem for Janice Mirikitanis. When the light opens the way. Hope rises. We rise up with our stories. We live to love the beauty in the world, the beauty of each day of us who believe in one another, who dare to feed the hungry and build bridges to the margins. Janice Mirikitanis, poem All of Us. When the light calls out, it's a slow cascade of blooming aura that summons the ascension into God's grace. Yes, this is the call home. Like the last drag of a street light before the dawn, the moment before you give up, it is in the twilight I hear your wisdom, Janice, waiting to make us brave enough. You are worthy. You are loved. Now get up and take your place. Showing us our hearts can hold more than our minds can carry, that our mouths claim survival over fear and rise up to meet adversity with every prayer. Make fierce the prophecy we live up to, drop the highs and lows of life and live in the margins till they get better. We are your command of community, a rising tide in the fierce face of tyranny. Enlightened ancestor, I imagine that now you watch your wisdom, Janice. Sing out as the glide choir. Feel the lift in the ringing hands, keeping tempo and pace. I imagine you are tuning every voice and heart in this church, ensuring this song knows how to heal us best. We feel the sacred truth of Janice reaching in with each amen. Yes, Ashe, let's go, hallelujah. This is how we hear her hope live out loud. The stretch of her fingers wrapped around the color of appreciation in our voices. I imagine your courage is in my throat right now, begging us to be louder about the precious need for social justice, louder still about the equity of faith. Your faith feeds the hungry, loves the needing, and speaks for the ignored. She will not step over your prayers. Is taking all requests, but in the key of gospel, house, jazz, and funk, because there must be rhythm in our miracles. Now is the time to praise your ascension, Spirit God of Glad Memorial Church, Matriarch Janice Mirikitanis. We remember you, poet, how you keep reminding us we are not alone. We will sing you in, rise you up, and praise higher, Janice. Ensure your legacy, Janice, as you have ensured us we are worthy, we are ready, and we are necessary right now. In the words of Janice Mirikitanis, hope rises. We rise up with our stories. We live to love the beauty in the world, the beauty of each of us who believe in one another, who dare to feed the hungry and build bridges to the margins. Thank you so much, Glad Memorial Church. I appreciate you. I honor you. God bless you.